Hi guys, and welcome back to the Bookish Maven. Today's video is my March TBR. I cannot believe that it's already March. This year is going by so fast. I feel like I'm not reading as much as I normally do or want to, and I'm trying really hard to be consistent with my videos on here, but honestly, I don't know what's happening. My life is just going by faster than I can actually process it. But nevertheless, I do have a TBR this month, and it's kind of a weird one. You'll see why. It's all over the place. But I've decided to just kind of give you a breakdown of what my plans are for reading and why I chose certain books. But I figured that telling you about the books, everything about it, like the synopsis and whatnot, is actually just regurgitating information over and over in my videos, because I always do a wrap up too of all the books that I read. So I'm just kind of giving you a breakdown of why I chose the books, why they made it on the list, and what they are. So the first book is actually a patron choice from my library. It is a book that I've seen fly off the shelf so many times already this year, and it is called Naked Came the Florida Man by Tim Dorsey. Now, I have never read anything by this author. I didn't even know about this Florida Man series. And one of my patrons said that it was something I had to read. Super light, funny, hilarious book and writer. So, I have no idea what it's about. It's a blind book going in, but I do love books that make me laugh. So, this is my first on my list for March. The next book is a book that I have actually wanted to read for a while, and it's kind of a honker. I say honker because it's a little intense, and that is Mythos by Stephen Fry. And it is basically the retelling and, kind of like retelling, but the revisiting of myths, Greek mythology. And I thought it would be such a good book to just kind of pick up, because it's all split up by the different myths and their stories. And so there's stories about the Olympians, the Second Order. I think it will be one in which I will be able to kind of just read throughout the month without having to really focus hard on it. Now that one just sounded really ridiculous, but Mythos is on my list. And the next book I chose was because the movie is coming out, and I cannot wait to read it or read this book again and watch this movie, because I am the biggest Jane Austen fan ever, and that is Emma. So I'm going to read Emma over again before I go see that movie that just came out. They have said that the movie is way more of a satire, funny, comedy versus the seriousness of Jane Austen's writing. I don't know how much I'm going to like it, because I really loved the original Emma movie that had Gwyneth Paltrow as Emma, and it's really hard to kind of envision a different Emma. It will be hard to kind of compete against the Gwyneth Paltrow version of Emma, and I do love Jane Austen's work, so I hope I enjoy this one as well, even though it is a little bit different than I think what the book or the original movie is like. The next book on my list is a Star Wars book. I do absolutely love Star Wars. I am a huge fan of the entire galaxy far away, and so I decided to go ahead and pick up Star Wars Alphabet Squadron by Alexander Freed. Most of you guys don't know my husband, but he actually read this book a couple days ago, and so he told me a little bit about what he thought of it, and he said I needed to read it myself to kind of get my own opinion, and we can discuss and dissect this. So the new one does come out. The next in the series comes out later this year. And so I'm going to go ahead and read this. I'm going to catch up on The Mandalorian, because I actually haven't watched it yet. I originally wanted to, but I'm one of those people that needs to see the entire thing. So I waited until the entire Mandalorian came out all the way, and then I got sidetracked by other things in life. So now all the episodes for the first season of Mandalorian are out and just sitting there and waiting for me to watch them. So I'm going to pair that with this book, The Alphabet Squadron, and have myself a fabulous little Star Wars weekend, one of these March weekends we have. And in honor of it being middle grade March, I decided to pick up a middle grade book to go ahead and read. This one's been on my daughter's shelf for a while. It's called Gertie Milk and the Keeper of Lost Things by Simon Van Boy. I picked this one up on a super great deal. I think it was $2 at the bookstore, the used bookstore. And I want to read it so incredibly bad. Or it might have been something else that I got this from, but I got it for super cheap. And I've heard great things about it. It's got great ratings. And so, in honor of middle grade March, this is my book choice, Gertie Milk. And keeping up with my murder mystery kind of genre taste that I've been in the last couple of weeks, I decided to pick up one more. This one is kind of a weird pickup. I picked it up because it just seems like it's going to be the weirdest cozy mystery that I've ever read, and that is called Coconut Layer Cake Murder. And it is by Joanne Fluke. And it is a murder mystery book based around a bakery. And inside the book, there's actually a lot of recipes. In fact, I don't know if there's more recipes than there is book. I will let you know. Maybe I'll make one of these recipes on video and talk about the book. Might be a good video. We'll see. But that one is to continue my fancy murder mystery series. The next one I picked up, once again, this is one that a patron recommended I pick up and read, and it's called The Westering Woman by Sandra Dallas. And I chose this book because I love the Wild West, and I love wagon trains and all the stories about people going out and settling out in nature, out further west than where civilization or America had been established at the time. And so I picked this one because I love the idea of these women that were on the trains along the way and helped to establish the West. The next book that I am actually going to listen to this month is called Ink in the Blood, and I chose this book because it was a book of the month choice, but instead of getting the book, I decided to get the audiobook because I had an extra credit in there, and so I'm really looking forward to it. It's supposed to be like some urban urban fantasy type of story in which these women have magic within their blood, and so when they ink themselves, it becomes part of their magic, and so I'm really excited. I do love my fantasy genre, and I haven't read a lot of it recently, so I decided to go ahead and listen to that. I'm also going to read and listen to Deathless Divide. This is the second in the series about these African American women who were freed from slavery to go to school to learn how to hunt and destroy zombies. And so they become zombie protectors of the society, of the world. And it's back right before the Civil War. And so the zombies start taking over again, and everyone's being forced out further west to protect themselves from these zombie hordes that keep continually bombarding these cities and establishments of society. And so the last thing we knew, the big civilization town type situation that our two main characters were in is overrun by zombies, and they take off, the two of them take off further southish west. They're going to California basically, so they head towards California. So this book is a continuation of the zombie apocalypse before the Civil War. I will be attempting to read 2 more arcs that are from NetGalley. One is called Burn Cycle, the other one is Range. And so these 2 are books that I'm going to attempt to read this month. Maybe some more. I don't know. I'm feeling a little moody in my reading, so we might see American Dirt, we might see some different arcs coming out, and then of course, I have my Book of the Month book that is coming in as well, so we'll see. One of my goals this year was to read the Book of the Month books in the month that they were coming out. This month I did read one. I still have one that I haven't read because I kind of bought a couple of the Book of the Month ones last month. This next month in March, I only have one Book of the Month coming in, and so it should be easy to try to squeeze that one in here. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. It'll be a surprise. And with that, that is my choices for this month's TBR. Hopefully I actually read them all. I'm planning on turning this off and starting one of my books right now. Till then, I hope that you guys have a fabulous day, and we will see you next video.